Good morning. Welcome to Atlantic Blowout on Atlantic Television Network. This is a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversation on special interest topics, news, events, and stories through correspondence reports, expert opinion, and stakeholders analysis. And the first headline for today is from Adamawa State. Disruption as two petrol tanker engulfs with fire. Under the presidency, Tinubu signs North Central Development Commission into law. In the healthcare sector, US-UK patients visit Nigeria for medical attention. This is from the federal government. In the electricity sector, FG rolls out 7 million prepaid meter in 2025. Under the oil and gas, Petron lords FG's ban on exports of crude oil. And lastly, in governance, Babalola's calls on governments to increase doctors' salaries. We are open for adverts, placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our 810 socials on Facebook and YouTube, on Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok, on Atlantic TV Network 1, on Twitter, on Atlantic TV Net, which is live on our website at www.atlantic.network.tv. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, as always, we will discuss the stories in details. So stay with us.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring honest pop news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what
I have fought a very family.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Welcome back. Like I said, we'll be discussing the news, the stories in details. And joining us to do that is Honorable Aterike Amenu. He is a socio-political analyst. It's a pleasure to have you here, Honorable. A lot of life, about 86 lives were lost in Enugu State. You know, it's just been a back and forth situation of tanker explosion. Is this something actually going on in the petroleum sector, or is it that the tankers have been malfunctioning? You know, it's just been a thing of concern. Oftentimes, personally, because of this incident, when I'm close to tankers right now, I have this thing, I have this phobia, I have this little fear, like, please, that's this nothing happening in this space where I am close to this tanker, you know, and it's just a continuous process. It's just a thing of concern. I'd love to get your thoughts on this, please.
All right, thank you. You see, one of the problems we have in this country is we don't take things too seriously. Like all those tankers loading, I don't think they do proper checks on them before ever they start taking these products. No, honestly, before ever they start going to get these products, they are supposed to be properly checked if the tankers are. So I think the VIOs should do a proper job by checking.
I'm sure you're aware that there was an instruction from the federal government that tankers are not supposed to move at a particular time of the day, but we still see them on the road. What is really going on?
Now, you see, most of our institutions have failed. They fail in the sense that they say this, the next time you see them not enforcing that. Even if they want to enforce, because of money, you know, like some tips you give to them, they will just let go, and you find out that this thing occurring over time, and it is bad. It is bad. So I believe they should take a very strict. They should be strict about that law. You know, they should enforce it. It will really help. Even the sun alone affects the petroleum products. The sun itself. You know, when the weather is high and is inflammable, for crying out loud. So it's not too okay. They should follow up the what's the.
You talked about the VIO and putting their due course, reasons why they're there as an agency, doing slide away and then, you know, have the attributed to bad roads, you know, which has caused most of this tanker, you know, falling and all of that. You know, these agencies, do you think they've actually put in place this necessity that they are supposed to do to curb this continuous petrol tanker explosion that's been going on? Luckily, thankfully, in Adamawa State, no life was lost in this incident. But imagine another life was lost. You know, it's just been
Yes, we thank God that no life was lost, and I'm beginning to feel that because it's close to your way route to the airport. So maybe there are no residents around there, because I believe if there were residents around there, they would have come. Because they see it as easy means of making scooping fuel and getting out some proceed for themselves. Now the VIO, you know, the problem we are having is corruption. Ordinarily, they are supposed to work effectively. But most times you see that this one does not have a trafficator light. You still let go after you must have been tipped. You find out that this one, the wiper, the screen, the wiper is not working, you still let go because they have been tipped. So they really need to, you know, these cars are heavy duties, and with the whole lot of loads they are carrying, you know, they will end up, maybe one or two bad potholes can make them miscue, and before you know what is happening, the tanker has fallen, and the little ignites will flame up the tanker. So I think the VIO should, as a matter of fact, should try very well to ensure that they enforce what their work is really.
And the federal government also, in the instance of the Enugu Onitsha Expressway explosion that happened, yes, we got information that the federal government sympathized with the families. It's not just about sympathizing with the families and not putting in place necessary necessary things that should be done in order to curb this continuous process, situation that has been going on with this petrol tanker explosion. You know, it's because lives always get lost, and you said thankfully this happened close to the airports, like it's stated, and not where unlike in other states where when there's a fallen tanker, people rush to it. They do not care about what happens eventually. You know, so we're just thankful, and I just hope that this issue doesn't repeat itself, and then something gets done about it. You know, thank you so much on that, Honorable Amenu. Moving forward, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed a bill establishing the North Central Development Commission (NCDC) into law. This was made public on Tuesday by Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, who announced the signing of the bill during plenary. However, he didn't give the details on when the bill was accepted to by the President. Akpabio said, "Let me also inform my colleagues that Mr. President has also accepted to the North Central Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024 in order to bring development to the grassroots. And for this, we congratulate the good people of the North Central region of Nigeria, and we wish them more development and particularly peace as we forge ahead in the task of nation building." His announcement comes a day after the President started to the bill establishing a Federal University of Environmental Technology in Ogoni, Rivers State. Do we accept that this is a commendable step from the President, Honorable Menu?
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, the problem, what we are looking at is how is it going to be funded? The North Central Development Commission, how is it going to be funded? That is what we are looking at. Now, I even learned, you know, it was supposed to be for the 6 geopolitical zones, you know, the North Central, the North East, the Northwest, the Southwest and Southeast, and the South-South. Now, already in the South-South, we have the NDDC. So I was asking, if this should be, so why wouldn't we have ours? Because along the line, they were also debated in the National Assembly that the South-South, there is no need for the South-South to have, because they have the Niger Delta Development Commission. But I don't think it will really work. Now, why this NDDC was created was because of the proceeds that is coming out from the Niger Delta states. And when you look critically well, you find out that other states that are not even states in the Niger Delta are also benefiting from this. But it is called the NDDC, the Niger Delta. Now, you find out states like, what is it called? There is no Niger Delta. Even a Niger Delta state like Calabar is not even getting what they're supposed to get. You know, because the proceed they get from there is not high. So when it comes to the North Central Development Agency and this agency, these commissions, my problem is how are they going to be funded? Now, I learned 15% was supposed to be removed from the federal government accrued allocations to fund this from the states involved. And it's still into debate. They are still debating because they think most of the states will want to go to court. Because, why will you get money from us? I think there should be a reserve for the fundings and all that. So it's actually a good one, but let's see how it goes. It's a good one. It's commendable.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that the North as it stands is going through a huge particular crisis, which is insecurity as it stands. Yes, we can say it's commendable, but do you think this is necessary as it stands right now?
You know, everything we do is we do everything we do presently in Nigeria is attributes to politics. I think it will, with this bill just signed, I think it will give President Ahmed Bola Tinubu a soft landing for 2027 for the North to support him. Now, why I'm saying this is because this thing is not now they started coming up with this. It has been there for a very long time. Why coming up with it now? We are getting close to the electioneering period, and people had always said that he has done nothing for the North, the Northerners. That even when he came in his reception in office, the whole Northerners that were in the top ministries and boards were all put down to favor the Southwest, which are his own people. So I think he's looking for a soft landing ground from the Northerners.
In the issue of Ogoni, where the Environmental Technology Institution has been created, he has signed the bill also, you know, for the Ogoni people to get this. You know, if we have to also divert into that, this was just signed yesterday, and we're getting this signed into law again today about the North Central Commission, Development Commission that has been, you know, signed by the president. What do you think is going on here? If I really don't understand it, please.
You see, the Ogoni is a very peculiar matter when it comes to do with the Ogoni people.
Okay.
You know, they had always been fighting for this. I think it's based on this oil exploitation.
Do you think the Ogoni people have been fighting for this institution to be created in the States, whereas they have a peculiar situation that they want to be handled, which is the oil spillage, like you just said right now?
Like I said, the Ogoni people had always been wanting such to happen, but the problem they are having now is they are not too let me say they are happy with it, and let's believe that it will work well for them. Now, we had issues, you know, because of what has been happening over time.
Okay.
The Ogoni people, they contributed so much. They've been contributed so much before now to the federal government until they stopped drilling from there. Now, you see, the Eleme people are also seen as the Ogoni people, and when you look very well, most of the refineries and all that are in Eleme Ogoni. So they got a whole lot that they contribute to the federal government, and it's very commendable.
This is like a thank you to the Ogoni people for their contribution to the federal government. Is that what you're saying in it?
Sorry?
Is this like a thank you, a thank you initiative from the federal government to the Ogoni people because you said they contributed to the federal government? I really want you to help me make it make sense.
If you should say thank you, I wouldn't say it's false. I think yes, thank you, because they have done so much. And because of the present project that they want to start now in the Ogoni axis, I think they really need to put in some things on ground for them.
But do you think, like I asked you, do you think this is what the Ogoni people need? Because at this time they have Bori going on. You know, it has not been, to an extent, adequately funded. There's still been issue of road issue at the LMA section. That was where one of the expatriates actually had that accident, that he was being chased by, allegedly being chased by kidnappers, you know, that incident happened. Don't you think the necessary steps needs to be taken before this come into place? Like you said, it's a commendable one, but won't it be commendable if necessary basic needs are being met before getting into the bigger one? Probably starting with adequately funding the Bori Polytechnic that they have already.
Adding to it, I don't think it's a bad one. It will bring more investors to Ogoni land, and once investors comes in, they will you now see how development and growth will come. Yeah, with it, I think more investors, because as it stands now, Ogoni is not really, we don't have much investors there. Hardly before you see a good supermarket in Bori or a good eatery. I'm not, but I do pass there. And I have some friends there. In fact, some few days ago, we were even debating this on my Almata platform and all that. So when it comes to that, I know with that, some investors will come in, and Ogoni will be a great place for all.
Okay. I made mention that if we go back to the topic of discussion about the bill that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed, initiating the North Central Development Commission into law, do you think this is supposed to be a necessary thing to do? Like I talked about the insecurity that is going on right now. We also have in a boying state, although it's not part of the North, but the insecurity is lingering and it's getting into other states. Like the North, that should be the basic thing that they are going through, which is insecurity. Do you think this is what will bring development, like it states NCDC, to this region?
Yeah, it will. If it will bring development, and
when there is still insecurity.
No, they are trying to curb that. I think, like,
okay.
Yeah, they are trying to see how they can
I
curb.
actually want you to let me know, though.
They are trying to curb the insecurity.
Okay.
Yeah, that is why even the defense headquarters has been wanting the federal government to give them so much for them so that they can curb that insecurity. I know it will be a thing of the past.
Okay.
Even if it's not 100% solved, I know they will do so much on that. Now, it will help. It will help develop the area.
Okay.
They'll try as much as possible. But my concern is the funding. You know, the funding, because most persons from this other part of the country, like the South, will feel that all the funding is what they get from here. They use to build in Nigeria. Just some few days ago, Senator Adams Obshomole was on the news. He was so angry because what the Northerners have, they've not even tried taking little of what they have. They have so much, like their gold. They mine. They mine, but I don't think they're paying any tax tax on that.
Yes.
And they keep mining. So if that mining thing should be properly, it should be legal, and they are mining legally, I know they will contribute a lot to the federal government. And in so doing, when such thing is being created, I don't think much people will be angry that such commission is created for the North Central, because they have a quota which they contribute to the government. But as it stands, let's believe that with time, these things will come to a pass.
Okay. Thank you on that, Honorable Aminu.
You're welcome.
Federal government on Tuesday said that Nigeria is steadily being positioned as a growing hub for quality health care and now attracting patients not just from the West African sub-region but also from countries as far as the United States and the United Kingdom. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pat disclosed this while briefing State House correspondents at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The minister highlighted key decisions aimed at bolstering Nigeria's healthcare system. One of the most notable was the approval of 12 billion naira for magnetic resonance imaging and advanced diagnostics equipment across 6 tertiary health institutions. According to him, people are now beginning to come from the sub-region and even from faraway places like the UK and the US to receive quality health care in Nigeria. Despite the challenges we face, significant progress is being made, and the transformation promised by President Tinubu is already taking shape. Pat said FEC approved contracts for the procurement and installation of 3 MRI machines and 2 CT scanners at University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Federal Medical Center, Kefi, Nasarawa State, and the University Teaching Hospital, Adamawa State, and the Federal Teaching Hospital, Kebbi State. Do we agree with Pat that patients are actually sort of visiting Nigeria for medical attention? I thought the reverse is the case. When there are medical needs, Nigerians have to fly abroad to get treatment. I am not conversant with this coming from the federal government, because Lately, we just heard about some doctors that have been complaining of not being paid, their emoluments not being given, and most of the facilities being dilapidated, lack of electricity and whatnot. But coming from the federal government, that patients from the UK and US are actually visiting the country for medical attention. I really don't know how to put that. Please, if you have a better idea, you can also make us understand this, please.
We saw it over the news. We saw it on news. I don't know because I have not visited before. But I think...
You've not visited where?
Yes, I've not been to either of them, so I wouldn't know. But if that be the case, if that is happening, then it's a good one. It's a good one. I know and believe that it works and it stays for a very long period of time, not just having it and...
So you agree with him that patients come from the UK and US to Nigeria to get medical attention?
Like I have said earlier, I have not visited either of the hospitals, so I wouldn't know. I only saw it over the news, and for them coming, it depends. Maybe it's a particular kind of ailment they are coming for. You know, I think with what he has just said, I think it's a particular kind of ailment.
Please, do you think Nigeria has enough facilities, that the federal government have put in place enough facilities and things in place, and then still most of these medical doctors leave the country? Rather, they would want to start from the scratch abroad. Do you think if we actually have it,
even if we have the kind of money that they are being paid, we don't even want them to stay because they are not properly taken care of. The system is just like that. They are not properly taken care of. They have a very low wage, as in salary and all that. But for this, I just want to believe that what we are seeing here or what we are hearing is not just stories. And America will be coming to Nigeria to take treatment. So what would be their aim of traveling now? I think it will be okay for them to. By the time we start seeing that most Nigerians, most of these Nigerians in the offices, key positions today, like the ministers, the commissioners, the governors, don't travel abroad again for treatment and stay here for treatment, then we will know that these things are true and they are on ground. You know. Yeah.
But if this is actually the case, why has the doctors abroad not come back in order to invest in their country? Because I'm sure that most of them have actually been yearning to come back home, but because of certain policies that have been put in place that is not favorable to them, that is why they haven't come back home. So I do not know if I should dispute this coming from Pat that patients from the US and UK have actually been visiting Nigeria, you know, because we've had the issue of electricity, we've had the issue of insecurity and all what's not, several, you know, situations that have been put there that would I don't know, like you said, certain sicknesses might make them to come. I don't know what kind of sickness that you're referring to that will make them come, live all the way where you will get proper medical attention that will make you. It's not. Nigeria is a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we're supposed to. We would just wish that this is actually true, like you stated. So if that is the case, I don't know what to say. But I would love to ask you, if you got in a situation and you live in Nigeria, you're practicing medical doctor, and then certain policies are not favorable to you, and then you had to go to a different country where you feel this knowledge you have in your medical field is being paid off, and then you embark in that and you get money from it. Would you want to come back to Nigeria?
Nigeria is a very nice place to be.
Okay.
Nigeria is a very nice place to be. But how will you stay in the country when you are not properly taken care of? When what you work for is not what you get? So if I am, I'll just go where it's okay for me and my family and remain there and live a good life there. That is why you see most persons here will go and will not want to come back. Like I said earlier, we have good people, we have good doctors, we have experts. Most of them are very good. They are one of the best abroad. But our policies and the way we do things here are just so bad that they cannot even stay. You know, the kind of money they get. Just caregivers alone abroad, you know how much they earn. Caregivers. Talk about the nurses and the doctors. They are doing very fine there. So I think if I am a doctor and I have a better offer there, why won't I go? I will go, and I'll not even think of coming. I might come back just to see my country because I love Nigeria as a country. So my coming back is just to visit and do one or two things and go back, because that is where I believe I'll be earning all that I get from.
Thank you. The question is, we're yet to see the number of people that have actually left the UK and US to visit Nigeria for medical attention. Thank you so much on that, Honorable Aminu.
Thank you very much.
We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we will continue the rest of the story. Just stay with us. Welcome back. Federal government, through its Presidential Metering Initiative (PMI), is accelerating the nationwide rollout of 7 million prepaid meters starting this year. This is expected to finally put an end to the practice of estimated billing, giving consumers confidence in what they are paying for and ensuring transparency in electricity charges. Olu Orowole Vehinjen, special advisor to the President on Energy, stated this in a media chat. She explained that metering will also improve revenue collection across the sector and will attract investments needed to strengthen Nigeria's power infrastructure. According to her, while the government is indeed committed to ensuring fairer pricing over the long term, the immediate focus is on taking decisive action to deliver more electricity to Nigerians, ensure fewer outages, and guarantee the protection of the poorest and most vulnerable Nigerians. She said, today, the federal government spends over 200 billion naira per month on electricity subsidies, but much of this support benefits the wealthiest 25% of Nigerians rather than those who truly need assistance. To address this, the federal government is working towards a targeted subsidy system to ensure that low-income households receive the most support. This approach will make electricity more affordable and accessible for millions of hard-working families. Honorable Amenu, do we consider this a welcome development from the federal government, please?
Yes, thank you. It's laughable. 7 million prepaid meter. What are we doing with it? Now, they would have channeled that money into the funds, into making this epileptic power supply we've been saying. You find out that the prepaid meter now, they're just thinking of how to get more revenue from the consumers when we are not even seeing the light. What are we doing with prepaid meter, for crying out loud? The money should be channeled into ensuring that there is a good power supply, and I think in so doing, people will give them a whole lot of applaud and coming up with a prepaid meter. So
that's your thoughts on that?
Yes, for now. I don't think prepaid meter has any sense whatsoever for now. So what are we doing with prepaid meter? Even the prepaid meter you see now, most persons do bypass short corners and get their electricity. So the estimated one, if it's properly arranged, all what I'm saying is the system is not okay. The corruption in the system is bad. It's high. If this thing is properly arranged, yes, there will be light, it will be good. But with the money they've spent for these 7 million prepaid meter, I was thinking it would have been better to be channeled into creating power, yes, than buying the meters. After we have a good power, then they can come out with this, so that they will know that the consumers will pay for what they get.
What do you mean about creating more power? In what sense do you mean? Is it like getting more electricity or constant electricity?
Yes.
Because as it stands, a meter, if we have to rate it, one meter unit is about a 4 credit unit is about 1,000 naira, and then this is like something you cannot. Before, a common Nigerian can consume 1,000 to 5,000 naira prepaid power supply probably in a day or two, but you'd see that it does not give that opportunity, to the revenue is actually not equivalent to what you're actually paying for, so it's like you said about making sure, yes, that this actually this revenue, this particular thing that has been set out, the prepaid meter that has been set out to disperse in this year, should be channeled into electricity. But this electricity energy you're mentioning there, it's a whole lot. There are other sectors that the most concern are supposed to be put into. We already have a prepaid meter that generates power supply. Why do we need a new one? Is that supposed to be a guarantee that the electricity will be 24/7 consistent? Is it supposed to be a guarantee that when you buy a power load of 4 units is going to stay longer than it used to be? Is it a guarantee that your gas supply that you buy is actually the gas that we consume now is actually going to, you know, be subsidized. What is the need for this prepaid meter? They have listed their reasons for this prepaid meter to make sure that it gets across everyone. It's not like this prepaid meter is actually going to subsidize the rates of the units. But I really don't know how to put this. I'll still love to get your thoughts on this, please.
For me, like I said earlier, the prepaid meter for now, I don't think is of any use whatsoever. Now, and what I believe with this prepaid meter, I don't think they are new, like to replace the old ones. I think it's add to the old ones, the existing ones we have, you know. But for now, I don't really know why this prepaid meter, why it will be coming by this time where we needed a constant supply. If there is a constant power supply, I think it will do a good one for the citizenry than coming up with prepaid meter. After you have a good power supply, you can now start coming with all these ones so that you can get your money back from
talking about constant power supply. That has actually not been, I don't think that has been a concern by the federal government. I don't know why I'm supposed to say that, but we just got information that the federal government is considering increasing tariff again. After the whole tariff that has been increased, they are increasing tariff again, and then here we're getting about the prepaid meter that has been put in place to be disposed in this year 2025. It's actually it's more like we're not getting the point. You know, I really don't know how to put this, please.
Most times when they come up with things like this, you find out that somebody there is even trying to make out something from it. That is my own, because the way I look at Nigeria maybe is not the way you see. There are some things I see that maybe is not the way you see. Somebody will come up with this prepaid meter because he knows that he will make a whole lot from it, from the proceeds.
What do you think because it's coming from the federal government, what do you think they want to make from this proceed? It's a disbursement.
Procurement.
Yes, that has been put in place.
Procurement. Yes. While procuring, you know how much has been spent in procuring these 7 million meters, prepaid meters. It's a whole lot of money. So the person in charge knows what and what is involved. Because I don't see any need for this now when we don't have good light. What we should be thinking of is having a good power supply. Then when that is done, we can now go as far as getting these things. Because with getting prepaid meter after you have light, now the lights could be properly regulated and you will make your money back from it. Because it's as you use, you pay. Pay as you use. You know, so you get a whole lot of money out of it. But what we are looking for now is a constant power supply. Once that is done, then the issue of prepaid meter will not be a problem.
Thank you on that. Moving forward. In the energy, oil and gas sector, Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, has praised the federal government for its decision to ban the exportation of crude oil allocated to local refineries. According to Petron, the exportation of crude oil meant for domestic refining has contributed to the neglect of local refineries, undermining efforts to achieve self-sufficiency in petroleum product supply. In a statement on Tuesday by its National Public Relations Officer, Joseph Obele, the association noted that the exportation of crude oil has been a major recurring scheme with producers and traders prioritizing quick foreign exchange proceeds over local refining. Approximately 500,000 barrels of crude oil per day are allocated for domestic refining, but those volumes often lead their way to the international markets. The ban is expected to have a positive impact on the economy as refining crude oil locally will enrich the petrochemical industries and agricultural sector, reduce inequalities in income, and enable Nigeria to transition from a raw material supplier to a value-added product supplier. Nigerians have been agitating for something like this. If you ask me, I would say this is a commendable one, but I would still want to get your thoughts on this, please. What do you have to say?
Yes, thank you very much. I want to start by asking where our modular refineries are. Why is government not continuity? Why don't we continue from where the previous one stopped? We end up carrying our crude oil abroad, refine and bring them back here for end users, which is bad. If we had our local refineries like the modular refineries they promised us, it would have really helped the cost of petrol. Now that they are coming up with this by not exporting, but using it here, I think is very commendable, and it will go a long way by reducing the price of petrol. So we are looking up to them and believing that they will come up with this that they have just made mention of. In so doing, like giving the refineries there enough crude oils to refine and get our petroleum products.
Do we have working refineries at the moment?
Yeah, we do. We have the Dangote refinery.
Okay, that's a privatized refinery.
Yes, we have. And if that is done, I think the price will come down.
So what about the other refineries we have? Why did you mention just the Dangote refinery? Since we have the federal government have decided to ban the export of crude in order for us to refine our own products here, what is the necessary step that should be taken since they have, put this in place?
Before this is done, I think the other refineries are supposed to be working perfectly.
Okay.
But when proceed has been given for today, you hear that this refinery will start working tomorrow, by next week, by next month, in the next 365 days. But after then, you find out that it's not working. And, most people are becoming to be disappointed with government whenever they come up to say something, because they will talk and that is not what they do. They don't practice what they preach. That is why most times I'll always say, okay, let's believe that it will work that way. But if that is done, I think it's a good one, and it will really help, like the cost of petroleum products and cars. It will help, and we'll have a good cost where we as citizens will be happy at the end of the day.
Okay, if you may ask, if I may say, I think it's a commendable one coming from the federal government to reduce the export of crude, in order not to increase the prices and also reduce the prices, if I'm not confusing in my statements. But I feel the necessary step that should have been taken before this is making sure that these three refineries are actually put in place. The Warri, Port Harcourt refinery and the Kaduna refineries are actually, working. Although we heard from Petro and that Port Harcourt and Warri refineries are already lifting, but we have not seen any tanker leaving any of the refineries. And then saying that we should produce our own oil here. You're mentioning the Dangote refinery that is already producing our own. The Dangote refinery is not supposed to be in this instance. We should look at making sure that all these other three modular refineries, like you made mention of, are already working. In order for this placement, this ban that the federal government has, initiate back and buy them at a very expensive rate. All of that. So we just hope that this is not just like one of them that we hear and then it's not what we see. But I really would love to get your thoughts more on this, please.
There is a whole lot of oil racketeering going abroad, and when they say they want to stop the exportation, I just begin to believe how it will work, because I know they even the seas, the bunkering. There's a whole lot of bunkering going along our seas today. People taking crude oil outside the country without not proper being accountable for. Those are oil bunkers. They do it on a daily basis. So if that should stop, it will really help and reduce the price of petroleum products in Nigeria.
Okay.
In so doing, the cost of living will also come down.
Okay. Thank you so much. Moving forward, founder and chancellor of Afe Babalola University, Ado Ekiti, Are Afe, attributing poor
the short pay of money. When they are outside the country, when they are abroad, they are heavily paid. So why will you see something that is good and you wouldn't want to go alongside with that? You know, so I think he really wants the best for the country. Afeba. You know, it is not a regional thing. It is a nationwide thing. They are being paid. They are being short paid in everywhere in Nigeria. You know, they have bigger offers outside. So why will you want to stay in a place where your services is not being appreciated? You always want to go to areas where your services are being appreciated. Like I said earlier, even a caregiver abroad earns so much. Now, what is the work of a caregiver? Just those menial jobs, maybe come clean you up and all that, do some one or two things on you.
Has actually affected most of those doctors, because if you have to look at,
Please, judiciously used, you find out that this sector will be a very good place and nobody will want to leave the shores of Nigeria to. Instead, people will come here as a tourist center for medical, because we have capable doctors, we have intelligent doctors, we have intelligent nurses that can do this. But because of they're meant to use to work and they are not paid what they are supposed to pay,
so
what they feel they are supposed to pay.
You've used corruption several times as your word and your word and statements.
Corruption.
Do you? So you're saying in essence those doctors and most of the civil servants are underpaid because of corruption?
I know they have their templates. They have their templates.